Namaste everyone. I welcome you to my channel Pratibha with Biotechnology. Today my lecture topic is on ovary culture. Now let us go through what is ovary culture and what is the protocol for this ovary culture and their applications and limitations. Ovary culture is the in vitro technique which is carried outside the plant or on a suitable nutrient medium in an unpollinated flower to grow new haploid plants. The process of ovary culture refers as gynogenesis, as the ovary is the female reproductive part, or also refers as gynecium. Here I mentioned here this ovary culture can be used for the production of haploid plants. Haploids means single hen. It means this ovary has not undergone any kind of fertilization process. Alright. Gynogenesis was first studied by the scientist Sanyum in the year 1976. For the gynogenesis, we can select either pollinated or unpollinated flower. Pollinated flower is cultured into the simple nutrient medium, whereas the unpollinated flower is cultured on the special medium added with synthetic oxygens and sucrose. Let us now understand the definition of ovary culture. Ovary culture can be defined as the in vitro culturing of ovaries in an aseptic condition from the pollinated or unpollinated flowers in an appropriate nutrient medium and under optimal conditions. Optimal conditions like controlled temperature, humidity and aseptic conditions. Ovary culture gives rise to haploid plantlets through embryogenesis or regeneration from callus. What is ovary? Okay. An ovary is a part of a flower which is the female reproductive part and also refers as gynecium. The ovary is the part of carpel which also includes long style, terminal stigma and ovule within the ovary. Okay. Take a look here. Focus on this particular flower. You can see from the bottom stalk, sepals, petals, ovary, within the ovary, ovule, then style, stigma. Stigma, style and ovary, it's a female part of the flower, right? Here, anther, filament, it's a male part of the flower. These are the two reproductive organs of the flower. Take a look here. You can see here beautiful flower diagram. Here you can see the flower. Flowering plants also known as angiosperms, right? And non-flowering plants are known as gymnosperms. In angiosperms, flowers are the sexual part of the plant, right? In gymnosperms, cones represent sexual part. Okay, so let us go through this flower. Here in this flower you can see the middle part, right? You can see there a pistil, right, or carpel. This pistil or carpel known as female reproductive part. Why it's female reproductive part? This pistil or carpel responsible for the production of the egg cell. Okay, let us go through what this pistil carpel made up of. This pistil is made up of ovary. Within the ovary you will be able to see ovules. These ovules are exactly egg cells. Okay, then you can see there above the ovary style, stigma. On top of the stigma, or tip of the stigma, pollen grains or female reproductive organs will be deposited. Okay, and this process in vivo also automatically it happens, and even in vitro pollination can also be done. Okay, So this is all about the female reproductive organ. Now let us go through male reproductive organ. Male reproductive organ, a stamen, right? These female reproductive organ responsible for the sperm cells. They are responsible for the pollen grains. So you will be able to see the pollen grains in the male reproductive organ. These pollen grains which are present within the anther, they are responsible for the pollination process. Okay. In the male reproductive organ, you will be able to see filament and anther. So whenever you write any flower structure, you must keep in your mind about the carpel, female reproductive organ, and stamen, a male reproductive organ. So here in plant tissue culture, you are studying ovary culture. It means from the flower, you need to excise ovary as an explant, and that ovary will be cultured on the suitable nutrient medium, right? That is the ovary culture. Let us go through another diagrammatic presentation of flower. You can pause the video or you can take a screenshot. Whichever diagrammatic representation is easy for you, you go through that one and try to write in the exam that particular flower representation. Okay. Take a look here. Before going through ovary culture, let us understand little bit some information about flower and male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ. Okay, you can see here the flower. In flower, what happens? Pollination will occur, right? Pollination means the male reproductive organs, pollen grains, which will deposited on the stigma of the flower, right? So after pollination on the stigma, pollen grains will germinate in the form of pollen tube, right? And reaches the ovule through style and brings the fertilization. Here in plants, you can see the double fertilization in the ovules. Okay. Here, female reproductive organs, egg cells, fuses with the male nucleus, right, and form zygote. The process of fusion of the male nucleus and the reproductive egg cells is known as zygote. This zygote divides further into many cells and eventually forms an embryo. This embryo is the future development. Okay, you can see that yellow colored one, right? That is the embryo. Okay, here in embryo we can see the formation of cotyledons and plumule and also radicle. Cotyledons of the embryo nourishes the embryo. Okay, once seeds start germinating, radicles gives rise to root formation and plumule gives rise to shoots, and at the same time it loses petals, sepals and becomes fruit. Okay, so this is the just a bit information about the flower and about the reproductive organs of male and the female, and about the embryo. In embryo we should focus on the plumule, radicals, okay, and cotyledons. Okay, at the end you can see there the seed are further germinated into a whole plant. It means within a seed you will be able to see embryo. In the embryo already pre-formed plumule and radicals will be there. Those plumule and the radicals are responsible for the shoot initiation and the root initiation. Okay, this flower is bisexual, means both reproductive parts can be seen in this particular flower, both, right, female reproductive organ and male reproductive organ. Female reproductive organ like carpel or pistil and male reproductive organ like stamen can be observed. Whereas in some flowers only one part of the reproductive organ can be seen. Such flowers are known as unisexual plants. Okay, it means both the reproductive organs won't be present in that particular plant flower, so that will be known as unisexual flower. Now let us go through again the flower diagrammatic presentation. Okay, female reproductive organ and male reproductive organ. Okay, in the center you could see ovary. Within the ovary you can see ovule. Okay, then you can see there the style and stigma. Okay, and besides you can also see anther and filament, that will be known as stamen. Right, once the pollen grains deposited on the stigma, pollen grains further germinate through the style and forms pollen tube. Through pollen tube, pollen grains will reach the ovary and brings the fertilization. Okay, that fertilization is the zygote. Once fertilization becomes, that ovules are known as zygote. That zygote further gives rise to an embryo. Right? In the embryo, we will be able to see plumule and radicle. Let us focus only on carpel here. Okay, female reproductive organ, carpel or pistil. Okay, from the bottom you can see ovary. Within the ovary you can see ovules. Those ovules get fertilized by the male reproductive organ. Then style, then stigma. In tissue culture condition, you can go for ovule culture or ovary culture or in vitro pollination or in vitro fertilization. In nature, what happens? Pollination will occur naturally by wind or by insects, right? Or self-fertilization or self-pollination will be happening. But in vitro condition or in the laboratory, we are purposefully doing this pollination, that is in vitro pollination or in vitro fertilization. Today in this video we'll be going through only on ovary culture. Okay, in vitro fertilization and ovule culture will be on in the different video. Let us understand here style and stigma. The ovaries present below the style are pistil, which resembles the long slender tube on the terminal of which stigma is present. Let us go through about the ovule. Within the ovary there is an ovule, which also refers to as megasporangium, as it carries megaspore or egg cell. The integument surrounds the egg cell. The egg cell undergoes fertilization, by which a zygote is produced that later develops into a mature embryo. Now let us understand principle behind the ovary culture. The principle of gynogenesis is based on the regeneration principle, where an ovary can regenerate into a fully differentiated plant. In the ovary culture, the flowers are excised from the plant either in pollinated or non-pollinated stage, and from that pistil containing ovary is removed. The ovary comprises of ovule, which is the female reproductive part of a plant, inoculated on a suitable nutrient medium and cultured under controlled conditions. Under controlled conditions means controlled or artificial temperature, humidity, light, and most important one, aseptic condition. Okay, here I told you this ovary will regenerate into an entire plantlet. We know better each and every part of the plant which has totipotency characteristics. Totipotency means total potentiality to regenerate into an entire plantlet. That is possible from the any part of the plant organ. Okay. So we are able to regenerate fully differentiated plant from the ovary, and moreover within the ovary already pre-designed or pre-formed embryo will be there, where radicals, plumules will be there for the further proper shoot regeneration and the root regeneration. Now let us understand the protocol of ovary culture. For the ovary culture, first you need to select the mother plant which is totally free from disease or any viruses or any kind of infections. Okay, once you select the mother plant, from that you need to choose a healthy flower. Okay, selection of flower either opened or unopened. Then subject the flowers for the surface sterilization. Washing with distilled water, dip in 5% T-Pol solution, washing with distilled water, then the explant will be transferred to the laminar airflow cabinet. There actual inoculation process will be happening onto the suitable nutrient medium through surface sterilization. In laminar airflow cabinet, again we'll go for surface sterilization by using 5% sodium hypochlorite solution. After that, again you are going to wash with distilled water, sterile distilled water, to remove the traces of chemicals which are present on the flower. Further, these flowers are transferred to the empty petri dish or empty glass plate to excise or to remove the ovary from the flower. Okay, we can excise the ovary from the flower by using scalpel. Okay, by using the scalpel you will remove the ovary from the flower, and that can be subjected to the tissue cultured bottles. We can go for test tube plugged with the cotton, or we can also go for the beginning regeneration by using petri dish with the suitable nutrient medium. Okay, you can go for the induction in the test tube or wide mouthed culture bottle, or you can also go through the culture plate. Inoculated explants further subjected for the incubation for 16 hours at 25 degrees Celsius under fluorescent light, or you can also go for further induction through 16 hours at 25 degrees Celsius in dark. Okay, incubation you can go through in light also or in dark also. After 2 weeks you will be able to see the plantlets which are regenerated through ovary. The plants which are produced through this ovary culture are known as haploid plants. Let us understand here one by one what all the protocol we went through in the previous slide. First, collect open flowers from a healthy plant in a sterilized Ziploc bag to avoid any kind of cross contaminations, right? Then wash the flowers with the distilled water. Then dip the flowers into 5% T-Pol solution for 10 minutes. Again wash with the flowers with the distilled water. Wash the flowers again with distilled water to remove the traces of chemicals. Bring the flowers to the laminar airflow chamber. Then subject the flowers for surface sterilization by immersing in a 5% sodium hypochlorite solution for 5 to 7 minutes, and then wash it with distilled water. To a sterile petri plate, transfer the surface sterilized flowers, and by using sharp scalpel dissect out the calyx, petal, anther, filaments, etc. to separate the ovary, and for the success of ovary culture. Then the ovary can culture either through induction or regeneration process. In induction, the ovaries float over the liquid medium, and in regeneration culture, the ovaries will be grown on the solid nutrient medium. Incubate the cultures for 16 hours light at 25 degrees Celsius for regeneration of ovary. Keep the culture plates in daylight regime by using fluorescent lamp. Place the culture tubes in dark for the induction process. After 2 weeks, haploid plantlets grow either through embryogenesis or through plant regeneration from callus. Callus means undifferentiated or unorganized mass of parenchymatous tissues. We can go for direct organogenesis, or you can also go through indirect organogenesis. In direct organogenesis, you are going to regenerate directly entire whole plantlet with the shoot and the root. Indirect organogenesis or regeneration from the callus. First, explant will be subjected to for the formation of the callus, and further callus will be further subjected to embryogenesis. That is embryogenesis, right? That embryo will further give rise to an entire plantlet. Let us understand the importance of ovary culture. Ovary culture helps in the study of the early stages of embryo development. Gynogenesis also helps in the study of fruit development and its physiology, including maturation. From the culture of the unpollinated pistil, the effect of phytohormones on the parthenocarpic fruit can be studied. Role of floral organs can be studied, which plays a significant role in fruit development. Parthenocarpic fruit means seedless fruit. Gynogenesis also helps in inducing polyembryony, where instead of single plantlet, many shoots also develops. Ovary culture also explains the in vitro pollination and seed formation method. The culture of an ovary from the apomictic plant can help us to understand the stimulus provided by pollination. As in apomictic plant, there is no fertilization. The only pollination occurs, which alone stimulates the ovary growth and seed development. Ovary culture also helps to understand the hybridization process to obtain hybrid varieties of seedlings by crossing over of interspecific and intergeneric species. These are some importance of ovary culture or applications of ovary culture. Let us go through the limitations of ovary culture. The frequency of haploid production is very low in case of ovary culture, as only 1 to 5% of the responding ovaries are there. This technique requires high technical skills and management. In some cases, besides a haploid plant, some different traits may develop. Gynogenesis can be employed only in limited species. For example, wheat, rice, maize, sugar beet, etc. This is all about ovary culture. In this ovary culture, I have covered the definition of ovary culture and what is ovary culture and part of the flower, female reproductive organ, male reproductive organ, and protocol of ovary culture and importance of ovary culture and also limitations of ovary culture. I hope you have understood today's presentation, ovary culture, right? Hope to see you again in my another video. I, Dr. Pratibha KS, signing off for today. Thank you everyone. I'm loving you all. Stay blessed. Keep learning. Thank you.